So are you able to see this interface, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Then now I am going to proceed. Now this is basically lecture number 15. Am I right? Lecture number.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So basically, in today's lecture, I am not going to talk about this sliding mode control. I am going to talk something different. But obviously, after going through today's lecture, we are going to see that how to apply sliding mode control for the non-linear system. So that is our main aim of today's lecture. We have to first create the background such that I am comfortably able to apply the some kind of sliding mode control, and latter part you are able to understand that I am also going to talk about higher order sliding mode control. So aim is just to extend. Suppose I have x dot equal to minus k signum x, something like this, and plus dt. So we have seen that if k is greater than dt, supremum of this for all t, then I can able to make sure that x equal to 0 after some finite time, that t greater than equal to t. After that, now suppose I have second order system, x1 dot equal to x2 and x2 dot equal to something like same u plus dt, like this. So you might have seen that whenever I am talking about first order sliding mode control, then I am designing sliding surface, and for second order sliding surface design is little bit simple, that is nothing but cx1 plus x2, and in finite time we are going to converge here, and after that using some kind of same kind of function k signum, in place of x I am just replacing s, because here s belongs to r, and due to that reason we are able to do that. And after that we are able to prove that x1 tending towards 0 and x2 tending towards 0. So you can see that result is little bit diluted now. I am talking that x1 tending towards 0, x2 tending towards 0, as t tending towards infinity. In this case, what is our benefit? Benefit is like this. If I have first order system, here if I assume x belongs to r, then I am able to talk about finite time stability. But if I want to reuse the same result means same kind of algorithm, if I am going to apply for second order system, here finally you might have seen that I am going to apply this kind of things, k into s and plus dt, like this. Then what we found that in this particular case I just get some kind of convergence that is called asymptotic convergence, or whatever stability, that is asymptotic stability. Similarly, similar kind of things I can tell for third order, fourth order, or nth order. But now suppose that if someone asks me that, okay, if you have some second order system, so simplified form I can express system like this, or some more complicated form I am going to write x1 dot equal to x2 and x2 dot equal to fx plus gx into u. Suppose this is your system, and here x is basically this vector x1 and x2, and suppose fx and gx is not known to you, but you know that these two quantities bounded. Now question is that how to design this control u such that I am able to make sure that x1 and x2 both equal to 0 in finite time. And if you see the literature, then this is nothing but second order sliding mode control. So before talking to the second order sliding mode control, I have to see that how to get this kind of structure, whatever structure I have written. And using this technique, this nonlinear design technique, that is feedback linearization, I am able to get this kind of structure. So that is the benefit due to that reason. And if you see the literature of nonlinear control system, most of time people trying to define some kind of transformation such that non-linear system is converted into some kind of equivalent linear system. You can see that objective I have written here. So the objective is to transform the non-linear system to equivalent linear system. It means that why I am telling just equivalent, because I cannot claim that non-linear system, suppose non-linear system is defined in this particular domain, so I cannot tell that completely I am able to convert into linear system always, but it is possible to show that this non-linear system, so I have non-linear system NS I am representing, and this is linear system. So in some specific case, this system is still non-linear but looks like linear system, and I will tell you what is meaning of looks like linear system. And once that is looks like linear system, then I can able to design robust controller, means sliding mode control. That is the our main aim of this part of the course. So, and obviously if you see the literature, then this technique that is called feedback linearization, that become very much famous, because it particular technique has shown that robotic system can be converted into equivalent linear like system. It means that if you see the any robotic system, most of time that is non-linear in nature, but by this technique, that is feedback linearization, it is possible to show that that is linear like structure. And once linear like structure I have, then we have basically well defined theory for linear systems I can apply there. But most of time I have already told you that exactly I cannot convert, and due to that reason some mismatch always is there, and due to that reason robust control should be there if you want to apply this kind of theory to any class of system. So what nonlinear people has done, they are telling just that if I have nonlinear system, then how to convert that into equivalent linear system. But still if you come here, then several things that is not well known or well defined. So due to that reason, without this kind of technique, robust controller design technique, I cannot able to design control again, controller design technique. And due to that reason, people are telling that even if you can do the coordinate transformation, but if you do not have robust control design technique, then you are not able to solve this problem. And due to that reason, up to here, again I am going to use the nonlinear technique, and after that from here this part I am going to replace this part by sliding mode control. So obviously insensitivity comes into picture, finite time stability comes into picture, so several benefit I am going to get. That is our prime aim. Now let us try to see how basically one can apply this particular technique. So here you can see that what I have written, how general is the idea of nonlinearity cancellation. So what is one of the simple solution, that whenever some uncertainty comes into picture, then what you can do, that try to design control in such a way such that that nonlinear part become cancelled and finally system become linear. And if you remember that several times I have talked about this system, and particularly this particular system, the mathematical model for this system, if you want to move this underwater vehicle from one point to another point, I am assuming that during this moment just I want to calculate control the velocity. So I want to move this underwater vehicle with some kind of means constant velocity, or I have some water flow, and due to this flow I have certain kind of uncertainty and I want to stop this underwater vehicle. So it means that I want to create v equal to 0, and obviously we wish that I can achieve this objective in finite time. So you all are well aware that why this kind of mathematical equation comes into picture. Again, I am going to apply F equal to ma. Mass I have assumed that is unity. Then this kind of model I have. Now, what is idea of nonlinearity cancellation?
Yes,
Here,
here the v is relative velocity or the vehicle velocity?
v is the vehicle velocity. I am not assuming relative velocity with respect to water. I
So
am
v equals to 0 means the vehicle will be stopped.
yeah. Vehicle is
Okay,
stopped
sir. Okay. Okay.
in the flowing water. So that is our idea.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So after that, now you can see that what is meaning of the feedback, what is idea of this particularly feedback linearization. They are telling that since control in my hand, and I am assuming that my actuator, whatever actuator this is, thruster I am applying to this underwater vehicle. So design a control in such a way such that after updating this control, this is my control. So after designing this control, this whole system become linear. So you can see that if I can design control like nu plus v plus mod v, and if you remember that I am telling this as a feed forward kind of things, that I know that this uncertainty is going to comes into picture. So means I have specified that uncertainty in advance. Okay, so means this particular, it means that you can see that original control v equal to u equal to nu plus v mod b still contains some kind of nonlinear part. So this is no longer linear control. This is some kind of original control is still nonlinear, but closed loop system become linear. So in this way, after applying this kind of control, now task is very easy. You can apply any linear control system. And what happens that we have to see that this idea is general or not. So suppose you can consider this kind of linear system. So is this particular part is visible to everyone? X dot equal to ax plus b gamma x u minus alpha x. That is visible to everyone?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Now try to see the idea. Idea is very attractive. They are telling that okay, if system is looks like this, then and suppose gamma x, that is actually multiply with control. I have already told you that gamma x, whenever that is multiply with control, then I am assuming that that is invertible, and that is also not singular. Singular means if it passed through the zero, suppose here everything is matrix, so I am assuming that gamma x is some kind of matrix where each entry is 0, that kind of situation. So again you can assume here x belongs to Rn and u belongs to Rm. So now idea is that using this control, what class of uncertainty? Obviously by designing control I cannot able to compensate all kind of uncertainty, and I have already given one example to you about the matched uncertainty and unmatched uncertainty. Similarly, if I have to cancel the nonlinearity, I cannot cancel all nonlinearity. I am only able to cancel those kind of nonlinearity which is actually passing through the input channel. So I am assuming I have system, and if some uncertainty or some nonlinearity in the direction of control, then only I can compensate. So this is my system, this is my input, and this is output. So here you can see that if I design, because if that is minus alpha x I have written just for simplicity. So but here it might possibly you have plus minus, that doesn't matter for us. So if you design u, if I have this kind of structure ax plus b gamma x might be linear. Due to that reason this system is looks like linear but no longer linear. This is non-linear system because gamma x is non-linear. So if you have one single term that is non-linear, then that system is non-linear. Alpha x is also non-linear. So somehow if I have this class of system, then I can design control that is here negative, so positive part, or vice versa I will put here. And I am assuming that gamma x, if that is invertible means for all x I am telling. And suppose whenever I have nonlinear system, then that I am assuming that nonlinear system is only valid in some. So whatever mathematical model I have created and written x dot equal to ax plus b, and a and b are constant matrix, gamma x, and after that u minus alpha x. I am assuming that that is only valid in this particular region, because whenever you are creating nonlinear system, you cannot able to make sure that is valid in everywhere. Most of time we are assuming that whatever car I have created, that will run on road only. I am not telling that car is also going to fly, that is also travel inside the water, they will go to Mars also. So for a specific application I have to create some kind of system, and due to that reason I am telling that okay, I am just worrying that a state should be belongs to this particular region D. And after that I have created this control u equal to alpha x minus gamma inverse x and nu. And once you will couple this, now you can see that I have system like x dot equal to ax plus b nu, and here a is constant matrix and b is constant matrix. So this system is completely linear system. So if I have some system, nonlinear system like this or like this particular structure, then I can give guarantee that if my actuator is strong enough, then I can convert this nonlinear system like this kind of linear system. Okay, up to here anyone has confusion? So it means that I can only able to compensate or convert some nonlinear system into linear system if I have this kind of a structure. So we are going to check this thing, that only this is true for this system or it is true for another class of system or not. But at least in this slide it is clear that if uncertainty, I have additive uncertainty or multiplicative uncertainty like this, then I can tell that I will design this kind of control, and after that I will get this kind of structure, and after that I can apply any linear control design technique. But here you can see that during this cancellation, what is our assumption? Assumption is that alpha x should be completely known, because I have already told you several times that whenever we are designing control action, so each and every term inside control should be defined, well defined and known to us. So I am assuming I have some kind of sensor, and using sensor I am measuring all states. Then I can create alpha x, similarly gamma x. But most of time if you see the realistic system, then these two things are not known. So is it possible to create system like this x dot equal to ax plus b nu in that case or not? What is your answer? Have you understood my question? What I am telling, suppose if I have some kind of nonlinear system like this, but we know that even if we are assuming that capacitance is known to me, suppose I have RLC circuit, inductance is known to me, but most of time that is not certain. So is it possible to design control like this, such that system become completely linear?
Sir, no, sir.
No. Answer is no, because always I cannot able to exactly able to create alpha x, gamma x, and due to that reason always some mismatch is there, even if you can do some kind of compensation. This mismatch you can assume that that is bounded, because I have used very much proper information. It means that just using linear control theory, again I cannot able to design control system. What kind of theory is required? Because you can see that here I have one extra term, and that extra term is uncertainty again. Due to that reason, when I have started this lecture, I have told you that robust control design technique is required, because I cannot assume that alpha x and gamma x is completely known to me. Anyone has confusion on this? And here I have written x belongs to Rn, u belongs to Rp, and alpha that map from Rn to Rp, just for the dimension. So I am assuming that this system has p number of control and n number of the state. So this strategy is also true for multi-input, multi-output case. Anyone has confusion why robust control technique is required? Even if I will get exact feedback linearization, because most of time this term is not well defined, not known. always some mismatch is there, and due to that reason, even if you can do feedback linearization, still some kind of robust control technique is required, and sliding mode control is more beneficial, because you can see here, after transforming this kind of things, most of time whatever uncertainty that comes into picture, that is matched uncertainty, and sliding mode control is able to compensate matched uncertainty completely. We will see that by regular form design, that sometimes mismatched uncertainty also comes into picture. Again, we have to relook the theory again. So up to here, anyone has confusion why robust control technique is required during feedback linearization? Anyone?
Excuse me, sir.
Okay.
So, why do we want to assume this the uncertainty to be of the form b times gamma x multiplied by u minus alpha x?
If I will not assume, then I cannot tell that completely I can able to transform system like this system like this. So that is our assumption. So we are assuming that I can only able to completely convert some nonlinear system into linear system if form is like this. So that is our first generalization, and these people has seen like this. Let us try to see think like this. Suppose if you have system like this, x dot equal to ax plus bu. Now you have to make nonlinear system out of from this linear system, such that you have one things to control. You can only able to control u. Now suppose if I have freedom to select u, everything is fixed, then where you are able to make flexibility, you can only able to add or substitute something from here, and due to that reason they are telling you can able to add or substitute plus minus alpha x. Here I have written negative, due to that reason here positive comes into picture, but plus minus alpha. So it means that I can able to add additive term inside the control, then I can actually increase the magnitude of control, and after that compensate this term. Another thing is that we know that if I have some kind of multiplicative term, then and if that is invertible, then also one can compensate, and due to that reason they have tell that okay, even if b in this form gamma into x, then I design u that is gamma inverse into x. If that is invertible, then I am able to compensate. So multiplicative uncertainty of this form is also one can compensate. So by visualization, they are able to understand that this class of system is only one can convert from nonlinear system to completely linear system.
Yes, sir. Clear now. Thank you.
Okay. Now let us try to see that. So what happens once this paper comes into picture? Then people start complaining again that okay, means this technique is very much restrictive, that because that is only able to compensate, or only able to one can convert this class of nonlinear system into this into linear system. Then author, means basically this work is done by Isidori, he was telling that this is not true. It is possible to linearize large class of system. Now what he is telling that you can take any general system, x dot equal to fx plus gx into u. So now you can see that system is not in this form, and what he is telling that first step, what we have seen that at least I can able to linearize this particular class of system. But now since system is not always in this form, then what next result is telling, suppose you have system like this, x dot equal to fx plus gx into u. Again you can see that here x belongs to Rn. I am assuming that again I have n dimensional system. After that again what we are assuming that for time being u is just single input single output system, or you can also assume that in multi output case that is also true. So for time being you can just assume that it belongs to P. Now he was telling that if it is possible to define some kind of transformation, and you can see that one high-fi term is used here, that is called diffeomorphism. So what is meaning of diffeomorphism? That suppose I can define some kind of transformation dz equal to t into d, If T is invertible and differentiable also, then that kind of transformation is called diffeomorphism. So meaning of diffeomorphism is something is invertible and plus differentiable also. So I am going to talk about those kind of map. So suppose I am going to talk about this map Tx. You might have seen that whenever I am converting in regular form, at that time I am assuming T as a constant matrix, and we are defining transformation at that time like this, T into X. But here I have nonlinear system. Due to that reason I am going to generalize it. I am telling that now T is no longer a constant, some kind of constant matrix. Now this is more general, that here each entry of this transformation is function of some state. So this transformation is no longer linear transformation. In first case, condition is only like this. If T is invertible, then I can able to move from these two domains. I am in X domain and I am in Z domain. So I can move from here to here and I can move from here to here, provided T is invertible. But once you define like this, Z equal to Tx, then you have to make sure that that is also differentiable. Otherwise, you are not able to express your system completely in terms of the Z. Try to see here, because finally X is differentiable. So I am assuming that Z is differentiable. So I have now calculate differential of this Tx with respect to time. But T is function of X. So I can tell that, okay, this is first I have to calculate partial derivative of this transformation T with respect to X, and after that X is just function of time only, so I can talk about dx by dt, and I know what is my dx by dt, this. So now you can see that during this kind of representation, whenever I am transforming some nonlinear system into some other system, at that time I have first used the nonlinear transformation. So I have to make sure that that should be differentiable, otherwise I cannot able to proceed, and that should be differentiable in whole domain. If this system is lie in D, so this mathematical model is true in D, domain D, then that should be differentiable everywhere partial derivative of T or transformation exists with respect to X, and that should be invertible also. And invertibility, why invertibility is required, I have already told you that, because my original domain is X, and after that I am moving to Z. So after doing all analysis, again I have to come to the original domain. Due to that reason, invertibility is required, and differentiability is just required to play, in order to play. And if these two requirement is together, then that is called diffeomorphism. So diffeomorphism is those kind of map which is invertible plus differentiable. Anyone has confusion? Because this term is useful. Most of time people are using this kind of term without defining. So you have to become careful. Anyone has confusion on this? Anyone?
It's clear.
Okay. Now you can see that here I have written input state linearizable. So in this whole equation, nowhere I am talking about the output. Just we are talking about a state space representation. So I have a state, I have control. Okay, and due to that reason, this linearization technique is called input to state linearization. Whenever output will involve, then we will coin some other name. It might possible at that time I will talk input output linearization, but this is input to state linearization, because I am just talking about X and U, and in terms of X and U, this system, whatever system in terms of X and U, that is non-linear system. So what I am telling, I want to design some kind of controller. Here I have no linear system. So whatever equivalent system I am going to get, that should be linear system. And using this transformation, now my goal not is to convert system like just like this, x dot equal to ax plus b nu. So what actually Isodori has suggested, that even if I will come up to this, then that is also okay, because I know that in previous slide I know that if system in this form, then I can always able to convert that system into some kind of linear system. So now goal only that whenever you have nonlinear system, try to convert this system like this. There is no need to worry about the exact linear system. At least up to here you have to proceed, and after that things become pretty easy. And I have already told you that it should be non-singular, because during the control linearization process, gamma inverse should be used. One more thing, that after conversion I have to design control system also. And you know that whenever I have some kind of linear system, then control design is not always possible. For in order to give guarantee that control one can design the control, these pairs should be controllable. Controllable means I can able to steer system from one point to another point. And due to that reason, after defining this transformation, author has suggested that what you can do, you try to find A and B that is controllable. So now you can see that this is not so obvious, because first of all you have to find some kind of transformation that is state dependent. Second thing, that whatever system comes into picture where A and B both pairs should be controllable, and gamma x that should be in multiplicative form, that should be invertible for all x and x belongs to D. So now this is only our aim, how to define transformation. So in this whole course I am going to talk that how to define the transformation, and it is possible to show that by problem to problem it is very easy to identify this transformation. And due to that reason, this result initially developed inside control theory, and after that, that is become popular in power system, power electronics, everywhere. And during mid-sem you might have seen that whatever book I have sent to you, in that book also they have used this kind of transformation that is called feedback linearization. So please check it. Now what basically we are doing, I have actually drawn this kind of diagram. So my original system in these two coordinate frame, x is my state and u I can define. So out of n plus p variables, I have just p number of variable in my hand. So somehow I have to play with n number of state plus p number of control. So n plus p number of variable, but just I am able to play with p number of variable. Now what feedback linearization is suggesting, that you can apply some kind of transformation that should be a state dependent transformation, such that I can move to some other coordinate frame z, and where now I have another control that is new for linear system. Basically I am telling that once you will design u equal to alpha x and gamma inverse nu, then automatically this is coordinate frame of this is just to z and nu. So I am telling that after applying u equal to gamma inverse x and after that nu plus alpha x, it is possible to show that system 2 has this number of independent variable. You put v such that I can create z. Because why I am telling this, because abstraction is like this. I have some system, I am going to apply the control input u, and after that I am going to generate the trajectory x or output, you can tell. So here we are not worrying about the output, we are just worrying about the state. Due to that reason I have drawn this kind of diagram. So what is main idea? Some system is looking complicated in their original coordinate frame, but it is possible to show that if you define some other coordinate frame, that is the physical interpretation of this, such that everything is now simple, and with help of control input, now you are able to just feel that my closed loop system is linear. So let us try to see that. Basically this diagram is visible to everyone, because quality of this diagram I found that is not good. Are you able to see this diagram, everyone?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Here you can see that basically in this diagram, this system is non-linear system, and I am assuming that I have control u, and all state I am taking as a output. After that, what we are telling that I have basically two loop. one loop that is going to do linearization process. So basically u is function of x and some control v, and you know that what is relation between x and v, like this gamma x nu, and after that I have alpha into x. This kind of configuration I have. So basically now you can see that here u, main u, contain two things, nu and x, and due to that reason in this block diagram I have u is function of x and some kind of nu. Now once you will apply these two things, then what happens, this system is now linear system, some kind of linear system. And once this is linear system, like x dot, sorry here I have z dot, so z dot equal to, now I have az plus b nu. So now you can apply any pole placement technique or any other technique. You can go via Newton's law also. Then I have to select this matrix and just I have to stabilize this linear system. So I have to design control for linear system only. Then I am able to stabilize this whole nonlinear system. So what do you think? This design is local or non-local? Ruchi, could you please
Sir,
comment?
non-local, sir.
Non-local, because nowhere I am going to make any kind of approximation. Just I am telling that system is complicated in original coordinate frame, and due to that reason I have developed some new coordinate frame. Okay, and due to that reason this technique, nowhere they are going to do approximation. So I am going to again design linear control system, but I am not going to do any approximation, and due to that reason this technique is more beautiful than simple linearization. So are you able to understand the difference between linearization and feedback linearization? In linearization, basically we are approximating the system about some operating point. So I have nonlinear system and I am telling, okay, I am just worrying about this point, then in this point I have some system like linear system. If linear system is stable, then I can comment that nonlinear system is basically stable about this particular operating point. That is the result.
Excuse me, sir. Sir, how is linearization loop working without approximation?
Here linearization means actually due to coordinate frame we are able to work here. So what basically you try to understand like this. Suppose you are traveling with train and one small boy is throwing one ball inside the train. If you inside the train, then what is trajectory of ball? What do you think?
It would be kind of parabolic something.
Suppose you can assume that you are just try to see some kind of local event and that particular train is moving on some circular path. It is possible to show that, suppose that with help of ground means that particular boy is throwing the ball, then you can see that that path is just a straight line. Any confusion? What I am telling, this is bogie where that particular children is sitting and they are throwing some ball with help of this ground. This is the ground of that bogie. Then, and if you observer is here, you are here, then you can see that path is just a straight line. Okay.
Yes.
Now suppose this train is moving on some curvy path, and if observer is here, then what kind of path they will see?
That curved one.
Curved one. It means that if I just shift the observer, then complicated things become less complicated. So similar kind of things they are telling, that by doing this kind of transformation, there is no need of approximation. So we are just playing with the coordinate frame. So we are simplifying the coordinate frame, and original coordinate frame still system looks like very simple, and whatever effort we have done from going from here to here, I have to add. You can see that what extra things I have to pay here, that I have to add after doing transformation. Also I have to add alpha x and gamma x, and alpha x and gamma x is basically coming from this system somehow. So inside control I am able to add some extra term such that nonlinear system is going to convert or something like linear system. So sometime exact linearization is possible, sometime approximate linearization is possible. Approximate means something, some more term again going to appear here. So due to coordinate transformation only we are getting this kind of result, and due to that reason this is global, not local. Okay, so whatever things is true for nonlinear system, same kind of thing is true for linear system, and that is the beauty of result. And due to geometry only we are able to do, because whenever you are applying transformation, how to design transformation, that is again area of geometrical control theory. So geometrical control theory here give very good way how to look system such that that becomes simpler. Okay, anyone has confusion on this?
Clear now, sir. Thank you.
Now you try to see that what here I have written, because why I have written this kind of definition. Whenever you are writing paper on feedback linearization, try to write these kind of things, then things become more transparent. I am assuming that is sufficiently smooth just if fx and gx that is not differentiable, then I cannot able to make sure that this kind of transformation exists. They have already proved. So in order to simplify this kind of things, I have just writing the statement, but I am not going to the prove that statement. So you have to believe on me. And after that, I am assuming that after linearization also, whatever origin that going to lie inside this only. It means that if x equal to 0 is equilibrium point, then z is 0 there. That is the meaning. If x bar is here, then z bar is also inside that particular region only. So just by doing some kind of transformation, I am going to create some kind of coordinate frame where system looks like linear system, but still my system is non-linear only. I cannot telling that now after applying control, closed loop system is linear, but you can see that if you see input output, input is still non-linear. You can see input, what is input? Gamma inverse x nu plus alpha x, and for designing nu just I have applied the theory of linear control system. So final control, original control, whenever you are going to apply, still that is non-linear. Anyone has confusion on this? Okay, now let us try to see one example, and after that I am going to close this today's discussion. So try to see this system. This is second order system. So Sunidhi, could you please comment, this is linear system or non-linear system?
So it is non-linear.
Non-linear system, because you can see here this term, this term, this term. So this is non-linear system. Now with help of whatever we have learned, we are going to tell that, okay, I do not know how to define tx, because I have to define z into tx, and this transformation should be, I have already told you, that is invertible for all x belongs to D in this region, and that should be also differentiable with respect to x, this and diffeomorphism property. Now this, at least for this second order system, by some kind of heat and trial, I am going to find some kind of transformation such that this system reduced to some kind of linear system. One more important thing I am going to tell you here. Could you please tell me that, suppose I have some system. So I have input and I have output. Okay. And in between I have something. What is that? Suppose if you are talking about states. So I know the input and output, but state is internal. And what is representation we are writing here also, that is state space representation. That is unique or non-unique?
Non-unique.
Non-unique, and that is the beauty. Due to that reason only I can able to define different transformation. Have you able to understand or not? What we are telling, that since state space representation is non-unique, so I can able to represent system in infinite many way, and due to that reason I can able to find some kind of transformation, simplest transformation out of all transformation, such that I will get some kind of system which looks like linear system. That is the idea. So basically idea of transformation is exist due to non-uniqueness of state. space representation. So non-uniqueness of state space representation. Otherwise, this is not possible. Anyone has confusion on this point? Anyone? Now let us try to see that. Initially I have taken, this is my system. So what is a state variable inside this system, original system? Varda, could you please tell me what is a state variable in original system, this system? Y1 dot equal to minus 2y1 a y2 sin y1. What is a state variable here? Varda, are you able to hear me? Okay. Any other? What is a state variable inside this system?
Y1,
Y1, Y2.
Y1, Y2 is the state variable. Now try to look inside this system. I am going to select some new state variable Y1 and Z equal to a Y2 plus sin Y1. I am not going to tell that how basically I have selected. I am just going to tell here that okay, I have selected this. I have certain kind of intuition. Due to that reason, I have selected this kind of variable, and later obviously I will give the way. And if you select this variable, so now I have y1 y2 and another, now I have another variable, that is v and z. So what basically we are telling, that I have something like this, and I have defined some kind of transformation y1 y2. So this is incorrect way to write, so I have to write like this. This is transformation t and function of y, where y is basically y1 y2. Whenever you are writing papers and anything, please be careful with all symbols, otherwise things become wrong and mathematics people become hurted whenever you are writing. Suppose you are defining function, and if you are writing y1 y2 as a matrix, you can write like this, that is okay, y1 y2 with comma, that is perfectly fine. Now after that, now try to see that once you define this new transformation, at that time this kind of, in that new transformation, if you take the derivative, so v dot equal to y1 dot, and after that z dot equal to differentiation of this, it is possible to show that again by putting v equal to y1 and z equal to this quantity, I will get this. So just you can check by yourself, this is pretty easy, because v dot equal to y1 dot, and you can see y here, that is nothing but 2y1, and after that ay2 plus sine basically y1, and ay2 plus sine y1 I have already defined this as a z, and 2y1 and y1 as a v. Due to that reason, now in place of this I have 2v plus z, and due to that reason this expression comes into picture. Now after that you have to take the derivative of this, that is z dot equal to ay2 dot and differentiation of sine y1, that is cos y1. And again everywhere whenever y1 y2 comes into picture, with help of these two transformation you have to convert. Now try to see this system, it is possible to show. Now by designing this kind of control action, you can see that whatever system I am getting, so this is my system, this is my system. So this system, because I am getting this, and here you can see that what is my control, u is my control. So some term is multiplicative term, that is a cos 2v, and after that I have certain kind of additive term. Please be careful, I am not assuming that, because I am going to see those kind of interval where this a cos 2v is invertible. So suppose something is not invertible, then I am not going to talk about that interval. So basically whenever you are doing coordinate transformation, this kind of problem most of time that is coming, your operating region become little bit smaller, because if cos 2v become 0, then you can see that magnitude of control become very huge, and due to that reason that is not possible. After that you can see that I have additive term and I have multiplicative term. So this particular system, this system I can able to define what is alpha x. So this is my gamma x and this is my alpha x. So in this way I can define, and after that I will design control such that I will get linear system. So my linear system, you can see that this is looks like this. I am just going to rewrite it again. So this is my linear system, and once you have linear system, I have already told you that this is my linear system and two-dimensional system, so I cannot directly able to use the whatever theory, that is Newton's law way. I cannot able to talk about the stability of this system. I am not able to design new by that particular Newton's way. Due to that reason, what I am telling, I am again going to define another transformation such that whole trajectory is going to basically lives on these two line, and for that I have already discussed. So I'm going to skip this part quickly. I'm going to tell that by this transformation, and what is last problem, I have to select lambda 1 lambda 2 such that, and lambda 1 lambda 2 is the eigenvalue, means I have to design k1 and k2 such that this system is decoupled like this. So in this way I can able to tune new, and I have already told you this point. And once I will design new, so now you can see that, come here, that if you are able to design new, then automatically what happens, that I can tell that v and z equal to 0. And after that, whatever new I am going to couple here, and in this way I can able to design control for this original system. Anyone has confusion on this? Have you able to understand or not? Anyone? Subjective?
Yes, little bit.
Here is confusion. Now up to here, any confusion how basically linear system comes into picture?
Yes, sir. U is given, and then after that it is coming linear, and then after geometrical interpretation there is a transformation.
Because now
that is decoupled form.
Now I have to design new. So new you can design in any way, whatever way you want you can design. So I have actually apply whatever things I have learned taught during second class, that is how one can tune gain by Newton's law. So due to that reason, in order to apply Newton's law, I have told you that I just need some quantity on real line, and after that I have to make sure that that quantity and their derivative all are on real line. Due to that reason, I am going to apply same kind of technique here. But you can apply pole placement whatever you want. You have to just design V in terms of V and Z, because now I can assume that whatever means things here, that is Z,
in terms of V and Z,
V and Z, such that I am able to make sure that V and Z is asymptotically stable. And if that is asymptotically stable or finite time stable, then original system is also finite time stable or asymptotically stable. And this is nowhere I have done approximation. Due to that reason, this is, I can tell that whatever result is true for linear system, same result is true for nonlinear system. But in case of linear approximation, I cannot claim this, because I am linearizing system about one equilibrium point. And after that, if we are able to make sure that linearized system is stable or globally stable, then only nonlinear system is stable in their vicinity of the linearization. That is the difference. So whatever result you are going to do here for linear system, similar result is also true for nonlinear system. That is anyone has confusion now? Okay, if you do not have confusion, then now I am going to conclude the today's lecture. So what we have seen in today's lecture, that I have some class of system. No, I am not going to claim that all class of system. I am just going to tell that some class of system, it is possible to show that if I will define some new coordinate frame, or in another way, if I will see the system in some transform coordinate way, or if I will see the same system in other coordinate way, then that system becomes simpler. And that is just like linear system, and whatever control I can design for linear system, that will work for nonlinear system. So that is that part I have started, and this linearization technique is called input state linearization technique, because I am not concentrated on the output. I am just worrying about the input and state. Up to here, anyone has confusion? Then please let me know. Anyone? So things become clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay.